Hi, I'm Christina Barentine. I'm the author of Lost Alliances, and this is apparently my default method of introducing my videos. This particular video, I wanted to introduce the Dukalin Empire and Bloodborn vampires. They're very intertwined. So the Dukalin Empire is the second largest empire. It covers pretty much the entire continent of Dukala. You probably figured that out. I don't have maps available right now because I keep changing them, but you're just gonna have to deal with it map free for the moment. The Dukalin Empire was founded probably roughly a millennia before the start of the book, so it's a very old empire, much older than the Tenebron Empire, which is only about 600 years old. It's only 500 years old. Older than America. Anyway, the Dukalin Empire is run by bloodborne vampires. There are a decent amount of humans that live there, but for the most part, it's just vampires, which kind of makes it a very scary empire if you're a human or you don't like vampires. Which I actually, believe it or not, don't like vampires. I think they're kind of creepy and overhyped, but this is completely not the point. Um, so, bloodborne vampires are something that I created. If somebody else out there came up with the term bloodborne or something similar to this, I swear I did this independently. I came up with this when I was 13 years old. I had never heard of Twilight Vampire Diaries or anything like that. I had absolutely no interest in any of that. The only vampire books I'd ever read were the Noble Dead saga. They're actually pretty darn good. Anyway, not the point. The bloodborne vampires are, as I said in the previous video, they are born. They are alive. They do not have to suck blood to survive. They can actually live off of normal food, but blood carries some very awesome properties for them. It makes them a lot more powerful. If they have magic, which most of them don't, it's very, very rare for 100% bloodborne vampire to have magic. Anyway, if they do have magic, drinking blood of humans will help their magic to be a lot stronger because it is what their body actually needs and wants. But they can, as I said, survive off of human food. And not humans, but normal food. Probably not Coke. I am totally not advertising Coke. It's just what my brother bought the other day. Sorry, totally not on point. The bloodborne vampires can walk by day, and they can birth other vampires. There are two factions of bloodborns. There are the Dracul, who are all descended, at least partially. Some of them are not directly descended, but there's like an entire family. Most of them, the purer ones, are descended from Vladimir Dracul. I got very creative with that one, but you know what, Dracula is totally public domain. Vladimir Dracul, they're descended from him, and the Dracul are noted for being a lot more volatile, a lot more likely to drink human blood, and they are a lot more dedicated to the vampiric way of life. They think that the Dukalin Empire is not necessarily going in a good way for vampires because they think that they're a little too tame. They mollycoddle. I hate that word, but anyway, the humans, they're trying to help people, and the Dracul are like, well, this is completely and utterly ridiculous. We're vampires. Nobody trusts us. Nobody likes us. So why don't we just suck everybody dry and get on with our lives? The Delacoutes is the other faction. They do not get along with the Dracul in general. The Delacoutes are a whole lot more diplomatic, but as the Dracul generally say, the Delacoutes will smile very sweetly while they shove a knife into your gut, so you probably should never trust a diplomatic Delacoute because they're probably just gonna kill you or something. The Delacoutes are by no means any less violent or evil per se than the Dracul, but they're a whole lot less volatile. They are much more patient. They might take forever before they go through with their nefarious plots, but they are very plotful. They make lots of plots. The Delacoutes as the Dracul say, the Delacoutes don't have the respect to kill you to your face. At least the Dracul will do that much. Um, the Ducalan Empire is a little bit in a state of upheaval because Lady Alsa de la Coute took over after her mother, Brutuel Dracul, died. Brutuel was a Dracul. She was daughter of Vladimir Dracul himself, and she was married to Jacques de la Coute. Now, Jacques de la Coute is the patriarch of the de la Coute Empire, so he's their head guy. Both Jacques and Vladimir are dead at the start of the book. Sorry, I'm shifting my weight, which is probably distracting me, especially since I'm drawing attention to it. Virtual, because of the way the lines of succession within Dracul and de la Coute works, it goes based on whoever's closest blood relation to Jacques de la Coute and Vladimir Dracul, whichever family you happen to belong to. While Lady Alsa is the daughter of Jacques de la Coute, that gives her the birthright to rule over the de la Coutes. She is the granddaughter of Vladimir Dracul, and there are alive two sons of Vlad Dracul. There is James and John, which their names may change because I'm not very creative at naming things. So James and John is what I got. So by the Dracul reasoning, James and John should be the emperor of the empire, at least for the Dracul side. They want to split up the empire into the two factions again, because the two factions have never gotten along, ever. And it's only through a great deal of diplomacy and the knowledge that ripping apart the empire isn't going to help anybody that it hasn't erupted into civil war. And this is probably the main reason why Elsa hasn't taken the Ducalan Imperial Army and marched against the Tenebron Empire, because she knows that half of her empire might be for it and the other half will be against it just because the other half is for it. So there's a lot of stuff that they don't really get along with. This video is a little bit long, but believe me, there is a lot more history that I am leaving out. Some important figures within the Ducalan Empire, obviously Lady Alsa, she is the Empress, so she's very important, the most important, but she's more of a minor supporting character within my story. She's just important because of her position. Her cousin, Tarina Eladin Melasul, you might recognize his name if you've seen any of my other videos. He is definitely a main character. Hope's half-brother. He is, like I said, Al's cousin, so he's second in line for the imperial throne. And he's also the baron of one of the provinces, which is almost completely Dracul, because he is Al's cousin on the Dracul side. He has a lot more standing with the Dracul than he would with any Delacoutes, because he's just not 100% Bloodborn vampire, half-elf. Another important, Eladin, sorry. Eladin is also the High General of the Imperial Army. The army is his to command, other than Elsa. He is the highest ranking military official in the Empire. Aiden used to have Eladin's position, but he gave it up because he didn't like the limelight. And Aiden is currently the general in charge of the special forces of the Empire. So he does a lot of the more covert things, like intel gathering and just some of the more secretive stuff that the Empire has to deal with. And a little bit of public relations, and I'm not talking about like actual PR, I'm talking about like dealing with how the Empire relates to other outside groups. Like very close to the borders of the Tenebron Empire is the Elfwood Forest, and I told you I'm creative at naming things. There's elves in that forest. And on the northern borders of the Elfwood Forest is the Draconian Mountains, which there are dragons that live there. And then on the other side of the mountains is the Garzine Desert, which houses the Garzine people, who I will explain a little bit because this video is already way too long. So I will explain the Garzine in the next video.